In this video we have what I think is one of the contenders for best car in the world ever, frankly. This is a 1989 Mercedes-Benz C126 coupe with the 5.6 litre V8 engine. It offers a staggering level of refinement, some amazing toys even for the 1980s, and it drives beautifully. So let's explore more about the 560 SEC. So let's talk about styling first of all. Delicious touches absolutely everywhere. Bruno Sarko did the work on these. He also did the 190, the W124. I think he did the preceding W116 as well. So really this is kind of a refinement of that earlier 116 package, the first true S-Class Mercedes. But in 1981 they released this coupe version. We've got the gorgeous pillarless styling and this elegant roofline, oh so beautiful. And really, I think this is some of Bruno's best work. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The rear lights ribbed like so many other Mercedes-Benz cars at the time. The W123 notably, as well as that preceding 116. But yeah, just gorgeous. This one's been debadged because you could get these, I think, with the 3.8 and later 4.2 litre engines. But this is the full fat 560, a glorious V8, of which we should probably have a look. So yeah, that is quite a lump of engine, the 5.6 litre V8, most of it hidden under this enormous air intake. But you can see we've got a single overhead camshaft for each bank of cylinders. Total power output is around 295 brake horsepower. I think US models had slightly less. But then US market 126 saloons, you could have a vast array of engines, including a turbo diesel that was unique to America and Canada. We never got a diesel engine one over here. They were always big petrol engines from 6 cylinders right through to this massive V8. So yeah, all the torque, all the smooth. And I'll tell you what, I shall fire it up for you so you can hear how marvellous it sounds. Yeah, mostly what you can hear under here is the fan. It runs that well. It's such a smooth engine. So we've got fuel injection going on, electronic fuel injection. In fact, our friend Tim at Cambrian Classics has been through this car, replaced a couple of fuel pumps. This car was off the road for about 8 years. You wouldn't really know it now. But yeah, beautifully smooth. Like I say, most of what you hear is fan noise. Also get a bit of a hint at the windscreen wipers here. There's 2 of them hiding under the trailing edge of the bonnet there. But we've got all mod cons. We've got anti-lock braking going on. There's a driver's airbag and cruise control as you'd expect. So an awful lot of technology in these cars. Yeah, that engine fan is all you can hear. What does it sound like at the back? Should we go and have a listen? So massive doors, and I can leap aboard, and what a beautiful interior it is. If I shut the door, oh no, Robot Butler's not going to give me the seatbelt because I haven't got the ignition on, I don't think. But yeah, such comfortable, supportive, enormous seats. We've got an electronic sunshine roof, as if having this beautiful pillarless design wasn't enough. Big slab of steering wheel with the SRS supplementary restraint system airbag. That's to remind you that it's no replacement for wearing your seatbelt. Handbrake is down here to the right. You pull it out and it comes on, and the lever sort of springs back in again, and then you have to pull it a bit more and twist it to release. Big indicator lever down here on the right. Got cruise control there, light control down here, but it's all really minimalist. But there are switches absolutely everywhere. We don't even know what this one does. It's got a horn on it. We don't know what that's about, but you know, heated seats, and one of my favourite tricks, if I pop the ignition on, oh, here come the seat belts. So Oh, it adjusted itself there, but yeah, that's just to make it easier to reach the seatbelt. They work very well. If we look to the rear window, we've even got an electric blind that lifts up. Rather nice. We also sadly appear to have a bit of a saggy headliner going on, but I think that they can all do that. But I'm looking in the back, and I have to say I was expecting this car to feel a lot more spacious, but there is no legroom behind me at all, really. There,
Bijou.
Bijou. You would definitely describe it as bijou. And just see the flap for the first aid kit, something that Mercedes-Benz like to fit at this time. But yeah,
Headrests are electric, aren't they?
even the headrests are electric. Let's see if I can do that. Oh yeah, there we go. Electric headrest. Something I was amused by on my Lexus, which Lexus was introduced the year this car was built. But by the time this car was built, these cars have been in production already for 8 years. So yeah, astonishing cars. Mercedes-Benz own automatic gearbox, which allows you to lock it into second, third or drive. We are in standard mode at the moment, not sport. I've made that mistake before. You can switch it into economy. Economy with a 5.6 litre V8. And something else I'd like to note is we've got an electric mirror, but only the passenger one, because the driver's one is just there. You can reach that easily enough. You don't need it to be electric. I think that's a really nice touch. We've got air conditioning as well, heated mirrors, all the good stuff. But very, very similar to the 123 and 124 dashboards, really. Oh, glove box and cup holders, of course. My camera lady always likes to check on the glove box and cup holder situation. Big centre armrest here as well. And yeah, all set up for the waft. But I suppose you really want to know what it's like to drive, so we should probably make some efforts to do that. I will restart the engine. Robot butler will presumably hand me my seatbelt. Robot butler's not interested. We wouldn't be anywhere without a windscreen wiper test, would we? So might surprise you, these wipers. Make sure you got the whole windscreen in, because here they come. Look at that for a pattern. So we've got 2 blades, good overlap, no triangle of doom, mild corner of disappointment. And we've also got this area which I imagine just allows water to get blown back up the windscreen again. This predates the jiggly wiper era for Mercedes-Benz, the magnificent mono wiper. So that is what we get. But yeah, the wipers hide themselves off screen, out of the aero for smoother lines, and also a bit more economy, I should imagine, a bit less wind noise. Talking of wind noise, we should probably go for a drive. I might leave the windows down initially. We shall get belted up and hit the road. Unfortunately, we haven't got the handbook with us, so we've no idea what this is about. What is it? What are you adjusting exactly? Slightly confusing. There are letters and also numbers, and I don't know what the difference is. Are they pretensioners? Please do let us know. Well, the car reckons it's 28 degrees outside, so we've got the sunroof open, we've got the windows open. We are ready to cruise in open air style. But yeah, they're so smooth. The first time I drove one of these, I genuinely thought it had stalled when I came to a stop for the first time. And the ride over this gravel car park is just exemplary, which is a word I don't get to use very often. We'll keep the windows open for now because we're only going slow speeds to get started. This is the magnificent Strata Florida Abbey in Pontefract Fender Guide, which most people call Bont locally, because it's a lot easier to say. But yeah, so smooth. You can barely hear the engine, even with the windows open. Can hear the fan. I have a feeling the cooling fan, it's a viscous unit, may be stuck, because it's not in a hot position at the moment, so the fan should disengage and be a lot quieter. But yeah, wind noise with everything open is fairly high, and my camera lady is looking quite miserable and blown about, but it's surely the best. I think we should do this for the whole test, don't you? No? Okay. A bit of a straightaway, and oh, we can hear the exhaust with the windows open. Oh, crikey, does she hitch her skirts up. Thankfully the brakes are also very, very good, because there's a lot of performance to haul in here. This car is a little all at sea here on these tiny Welsh roads. You can't really exploit it because it's just so big. And it tends to feel like it's just getting into the zone performance wise before you run out of speed limit. But I imagine blasting down autobahns, these cars must be astonishingly competent. I think we'll now close everything. If I remember how to close everything. Where's the sunroof switch gone? Is that one? That's it. Bring up the rear windows. They need a one button does everything, like the Renault Avon team. Avon time, don't you think?
Yeah.
But
child lock by the looks of things.
yeah. But there we go. How's that for a transformation? With everything closed, sound levels are just absolutely minimal. I mean, really, I'm not sure in the overall driving acoustics, this is any worse than a Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit of the same age. In fact, the Rolls-Royce is probably worse because there is so much leather in a Rolls-Royce that it creaks as you drive down the road. Whereas this is just silent. It's truly magnificent. They are astonishing cars. But yeah, I can draw a comparison here with the Jaguar XJS I drove fairly recently. And the difference is vast. This car feels so much more spacious. Now I would say it's a bit like comparing Concorde and a 747, but in truth, while this is slightly slower than the XJS V12, it's around a second to 60, about half a second to 60 and a full second to 100 that this is behind, which is not very much at the end of the day. You're not really going to notice that. The throttle response, the first bit is pretty dead. That tends to be fairly standard for a German car. They like a long travel throttle pedal, so it makes for smoother progress. So to unleash the potential, you do have to stab the pedal down a bit. And that's us going mildly naughty speeds in not very much time at all. But yeah, this is one of my favourite roads for chucking a small, nimble car down, and it does just feel a little bit too big, but you can't deny it handles very pleasantly indeed. It grips the road well and rides the bumps well. It's not quite Jaguar standard, but it's not awfully far behind. I think the W126 was a bit of a scary moment for Jaguar when they were developing the XJ40. And the XJ40 does have a nimbleness that is slightly better than these cars, but again, the difference isn't that vast. So smooth and powerful, and a perfect flagship for Mercedes-Benz at this time. I've said it before, but I love how different the Mercedes-Benz cars of this era were. They didn't look like anything else, and nothing else was trying to look like them. And there's a grace to the W126, which sadly I think was lost with its replacement S-Class. I mean, these cars should be good. They were all of the money back in the day. This was like a 50 grand motor car in the 1980s, which was an awful lot. But you can just feel all the development that went into making these cars so smooth and powerful and delightful to drive. Oh yes. This car gathers pace so beautifully and effortlessly, even when you're not foot to the floor. In fact, foot to the floor isn't really the way to drive this car. Just enjoy the torque and the considerable waft, but yet it does the wafting without feeling unwieldy. Yeah, it's the perfect way to crown perhaps my favourite series of cars from any manufacturer. That's coming from a Citroen man. I just absolutely adore this era of Mercedes-Benz. And of course, it's such astonishing performance when you want that performance, but when you just want to settle down and cruise, that's where it really excels. There is never a point where this car stops feeling enormous, though. It is a big lump of motor car, almost 5 meters long, which is pretty big for a coupe. Yeah, as you come to a stop at a junction, it is like being in an electric car. So there we go, an absolute beauty of a car. These things are absolutely formidable. This one belongs to my friend Guion, and it is for sale, likely to be for sale in April this year. It does have a few minor imperfections on the bodywork, so it's not a perfect example, but it's fairly low miles, 64,000 miles I think, and it just drives absolutely beautifully. It's had a lot of money spent to get it recommissioned and back on the road. So if you'd be interested, you can drop me an email, ian@hubnut.org, in the first instance. But yeah, just so refined, so incredible, beautiful cars. Haven't driven one for years, very happy to have driven one again. So thank you very much for watching, and don't forget you can head to the HubNut store should you wish to buy lovely merchandise. I shall see you in a future video. Farewell. Oh, I think we better have a headlamp wiper moment, don't you?